Well, hello and welcome to the Confused Breakfast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
Sir, yes, sir.
It's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch. But there was something truly special about being a teenager, flying your very own plane to Blockbuster, browsing the aisles, picking out a movie, and taking it home to watch with you. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. My name is Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, two dudes who can't make it through the day without proving what assholes they are. Sean Pryor and AJ Venz, how the heck are you?
Wow. What did I do today?
It's a quote from the movie. That's kind of my thing. I kind of put like a little quote in the movie there. Have you caught on to that?
That's what he's been doing.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and this was like kind of the only really like quote I could find to figure out how to put it in there, and I think you guys are great. You're not assholes.
Well, there's a lot of people who look like assholes in this movie, but they really aren't. So I'm fine. I feel like I'm in good company.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Good.
about it.
Ooh. Oh, sorry. We're doing punchable face now? Well, boys, on today's episode, we discuss yet another teen power military escapade from the 80s. Contrary to prior belief, this movie came out before Top Gun and, dare I say, inspired Maverick and Iceman and the gang. Ooh. This movie is Johnny Lawrence's favorite movie, and that is one of the biggest compliments you could ever provide. The first of 4 movies in the franchise, a movie brought to you by yet another actor prayer candle on our table. We're, of course, talking about 1986's Iron Eagle.
Well, dang it.
Light the
Ladies
candle.
and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with the Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Wherever you are.
It's got a good flame to it. This was so a lot of times we've been getting these candles and they're sent to our P.O. box, which you can send it to. It's in the notes, but a lot of times we don't know who sent it, unfortunately, because it just shows up. This one I do know. This was handed to me in person by my friend Mitch Springman. He said, "Here you go," and he said, "You know what to do with that?" I'm like, "I sure do."
Dang it, I do.
Iron Eagle it is. Sometimes it's just the actor.
Yeah.
But this is Lou Gossett Jr. as Chappie. You're like, well, we got to do it.
That is a specific candle.
So specific where I'm just like, how did you make this happen?
Yeah. Somebody's either really great in Microsoft Paint or really bad in Photoshop. Or really good in both.
Either or. It's on our table. And
Either
it's
way,
lit.
you made a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece regardless.
Thanks, Mitch. And if you are new to this podcast, we're going to be reviewing this movie scene by scene with a modern eye. In order to do that properly, we must talk about it with pure nostalgia. Let's go to AJ. AJ, first time you saw Iron Eagle, what was your nostalgic thoughts and ratings?
What? Yep. I'll just jump to it right now because I don't think I could have said it any better, guys. In our exclusive Discord channel, Jarrett Layoff said very simply, there it is. What the fuck is Iron Eagle? And I'm right there with you, man. I didn't know about Iron Eagle until... I really didn't know about it until like Johnny Lawrence said it in Cobra.
And even then you're like,
Cobra
I don't
Kai.
care enough to look into it.
No, I'm just like, it's Johnny. It's like if this man if his character is favorite movie is Iron Eagle, then it can't lead to good things. Like, clearly.
All
so
right.
I'm a big old NA on Iron Eagle.
Sean, I'm wondering if you're the same.
Maybe
man.
I still am.
No, we watched this movie like
Me and Jordan in the basement.
in the lead up to Top Gun Maverick. Like we
What?
did an episode on this movie.
Oh, shit. He's going there.
No, I've never seen this.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just like I had never seen Top Gun, I've never seen.
Oh,
Iron
that's
Eagle.
right. You never saw Top Gun. Sean doesn't like airplane movies.
Yeah.
I guess not. I don't know.
Well,
Ever
I'll tell
since, never mind.
No, I'll tell you who does love anything aviation when I was a kid is Mike Schulte.
Oh,
Listen, you got
Trains, planes?
You got Iron Eagle and Top Gun in the
That's it.
same year. You got Airwolf from 84 to 87. Feed anything like really cool planes and airplanes and helicopters into my veins as a young kid. This was by no means better than Top Gun. I did enjoy Top Gun better. As I told you, we used to run around on the playground and play Top Gun and like do the dogfights. Iron Eagle was more just like a fun not as serious version in a weird way of that. Like we'd rent it from time to time, me and my brother. But Iron Eagle was a big deal, and I know there's people out there that are probably seeing this going, yes, Iron Eagle. And I think there's people out there going, what the hell's an Iron Eagle? So I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to give it nostalgically. I'm going to give it a 9.1 nostalgically for me. This movie was awesome.
We're just going to let that ride.
We're just going to let that ride. Josh Miller chiming in. He is the executive producer today. Says 3 months in a row, a movie I didn't see in theaters. Although I was like 9 when this came out, that being said, I have seen this movie a couple of times, and I watched it a few years ago and remember enjoying it. I think I may have watched Iron Eagle 3 before originally seeing this one. Cool Planes, bad movie. Other than my rewatch a few years back of the original, I have no real recollection of the first time I saw it. That being said, I can't even really give it a score. It's not really an NA, but it might as well be. So I'm going to be the only one here, guys. 9.1 if you're playing score at home, which doesn't really count if there's only one person, but a 9.1 ties this with Dumb and Dumber and Surf Ninjas and the 15th spot of anything we've done nostalgia-wise.
Wow.
But again, it really doesn't count, especially if I'm the only one voting. So.
Well,
I mean, your nostalgic feelings on it are valid, and that's fine.
Let's see what happens now, because we are going to strip away the nostalgia. We got to go to Sean. He gets all the important details of the movie. What do you got on this one, dude?
Produced by Joe Wiesen and Ron Samuels. Written by Kevin Elders and Sidney J. Fury. Cinematography by Adam Greenberg. He did The Last American Virgin. Don't watch that with your girlfriend. 10 to Midnight. The Terminator. The Terminator 2. Near Dark and Ghost. Good guy. Music by Basil Palladores. We've seen him before for RoboCop.
Squint's brother?
Squints.
Yep, Squints' brother. The Hunt for Red October. Red Dawn. Breakdown. And Free Willy.
Okay.
Good stuff. Edited by George Greenville. Directed by Sidney J. Fury. He did Night of the Juggler, The Entity, Superman 4, Quest for Peace, and Ladybugs. Cast: Louis Gossett Jr., Jason Gedrick, David Suchet, Tim Thomerson. I feel like that you use that name as like a...
It's in my notes. Like, that's a fake name. Yeah, no, it sounds like Wet Hot American Summer when she's like, Tim Thomerson, Nathan Clipper Hofferman.
Larry Scott, Caroline Lagerfeld, Jerry Levine, Robbie Rist, Michael Bowen. These are just poor names. Michael Bowen, Shawnee Smith, and Melora Hardin. Writers Sidney J. Fury and Kevin Elders were inspired to write the script after the 1984 Olympics, for some reason. The duo took the script, originally called Junior Eagle, to almost every major studio in town and only to be turned down. Eventually, they brought the script to former head of 20th Century Fox, Ron Samuels, who loved the script and bought it from the writers. Samuels attributed the feel of the script to a John Wayne Western in which the film had this proud American tinge to it. Filming took place in California and Israel. The United States Air Force had a strict policy in not lending out their aircrafts when the subject matter in a script is specifically dealing with the theft of said aircraft. So the production had to go to Israel and film their planes.
It's so weird to me that Top Gun and Iron Eagle both came out in the same year, both like promoting like jets and planes, but they were all over Top Gun. They're like, yeah. And this one, they're like, no.
The ease in which little kids can sneak into our high security facilities.
That's not cool.
We can't let this happen.
I think we're going to stick with Top Gun on this one, guys. Yeah, sorry.
Almost all of the footage of real F-16s were footage taken from routine aerial drills that the Israeli military would perform. Filming in Israel took 6 weeks and had the assistance of Jim Gavin, who choreographed the air sequences on Iron Eagle, as well as Blue Thunder, Mike.
I love that movie.
They painted the Israeli planes to look like American F-16s, which caused problems and confusion to the Lebanon army to think that Americans were joining them on one of their many wars that they have.
Just real quick, go back to the 80s. Like, it was okay to do this and be like, it'll be fine. Can you imagine them filming a Top Gun movie like in Israel right now and like the confusion?
Holy shit.
It's just the 80s were a special time. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were special.
There was like a specific thing where like they were inspired also to write the script because there was an incident in which two Americans in jets were flying over what I think Libya. I think it was Libya, and the Libyan army saw them and they're like, oh, well, this is our airspace. It's like, where's the markings? I don't get it. Iron Eagle was released. There should be like buoys. Iron Eagle was released on January 17th, 1986, and on a budget of $10 million. The film made $24 million at the box office and garnered 3 sequels. Have you seen any of these sequels, Mike?
I watched the second one. Second one's okay. It has Chappie and it has Doug Masters in it.
Yeah.
And then Doug goes away, and then it's Chappie's in all of them.
Doesn't Doug die in the second one?
Remember.
And then I think I heard that he gets killed off in the second one, like early in the second one. And then like comes back in like the fourth one, I think.
It's if you want to go on
But played by
IMDb
somebody
and
else.
Rotten Tomatoes, like this is the highest rated one, and this one's not rated very high. So just want to
We'll
put it
talk
out
about
there.
That's what we'll get to right now.
Talk about it.
Well, thanks, Sean. Let's go to AJ. He gets us all the critical ratings and reviews. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those ones where there are very low scores from critics and very high scores from fans.
Hey, man.
I'm just what I'm saying.
You never know, okay? But I wonder what a Cessna looks like splattered all over those rocks.
Oh!
Probably like this. The
The
tomato meter.
That's a good one.
Wish we could have had our thing if you didn't,
I know. If I didn't just
if it didn't come
Destroy
all
it.
over you.
Ooh, that was gross.
it did. I was just
What
playing.
episode did that happen in?
It wasn't. I think it was a brunch. So
It was a
wasn't
brunch
our-
or
Oh,
Patreon.
shit.
Yeah, it was. I was playing with it too much. It just screwed on me, and
It what on you?
yeah, you got it.
Scroob. That
on
TV
me.
show Scroobs.
It's grooved on me. There's like all the vowels are in that word actually. So,
good.
just
President Scrooge.
That's actually
Scroop.
cool.
Scrooped. 20%. That's what a Cessna looks like splattered all over those rocks. 20% tomato meters.
Just to put that into
Scroob.
perspective, of the 200 plus movies we've done, that is bottom 10 on the tomato meter.
20%.
20% is bottom 10. That's pretty bad. Tied with Jingle All the Way,
Oh my god.
per the critics.
I don't like.
I mean,
I'm just gonna say it right now. A lot of like we've done movies that have been that low, like Jingle All the Way,
Yeah.
probably.
Biodome was a 6.
Yeah, this movie is not that bad.
Okay.
My God.
yeah. 56%
There you go.
popcorn meter.
There you go.
You know, a little bit of Just wanted to make eye contact with Mike when I
Just
did
keep
it that
doing
time.
it. Just keep doing it.
5.5 on IMDb. 5.5.
Again, that is bottom 10. 5.5 is very low on the IMDb. That is not as good as Cobra, but better than Three Ninjas.
Fuck yeah.
Well,
So I'm talking about.
Cobra was really good, actually. I'm glad we watched that.
I am too. Why isn't that one of Johnny Lawrence's favorite movies? Right?
It was.
Okay, good. Well, Janet Maslin at the New York Times. Apparently, this is one of her favorite movies at 70 out of 100. She doesn't go much higher than that. Iron Eagle is a very shrewd teenage variation on the Rambo missing in action formula. A military rescue movie with a nice young hero and a fun-loving feeling. Thank you.
You've got that love and fear. I don't know. It's just inspired song.
It's inspiring.
Okay.
It is.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay, Sean. Washington Post, Paul Atanasio. We've had him on here before. A friend of the show. 37 out of 100. Ridiculous rabble drouser, by the way.
Rabble Drouser. Rabble.
Not even rabble rouser, rabble drouser. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it makes you drowsy. I get it.
I get it. You were not rousing. We're drowsing.
We're drowsing.
There wasn't a.
If you ain't rousing, you're drowsing.
There wasn't one of the 7 dwarves. It was Rousey.
Yeah.
Was that? Is it one of them?
Rhonda?
That's the one that died.
Yeah.
That's the one that died.
Yeah, Rouser.
Yeah,
Rousey.
He suffered. A ridiculous rabble drouser with the heart of a bully and the soul of a thief.
Whoa.
Damn,
Okay.
it's really rough. TV Guide magazine also didn't like this movie. They were pissed when it came onto TV. Yet another totally absurd bout of macho wish fulfillment for those frustrated by the American government and military's inability to deal effectively with terrorism. Iron Eagle is actually more outlandish than most movies.
Okay.
Great. There's plenty of them, guys. Let's just do some 1 out of 10s. This is one is 1999. This is Helpless Dancer. And this is just simply this eagle is made out of silly putty.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Go ahead.
Oh, Oh, it's Silly Putty Eagle, not Iron Eagle. Duh.
Still doesn't make any sense.
You're right.
I just
A teenage boy who is not in the military and is not trained to be a jet pilot takes off for a foreign country to rescue his dad. To make the picture even more absurd, the colonel risks his career and life by giving the spunky lad some hands-on aid. Hands-on aid, yeah. They not only don't make colonels like this anymore, but they never did. This sappy, corny film should be tossed into the air and blown away by a MiG. Cool.
got him.
That
was TV Guide.
No, this was Helpless Dancer.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yes.
definitely.
TV Guide wishes they could write that good
That's right.
for reviews of movies.
That well.
Right. 1 out of 10. One of the first video game movies,
Okay.
I suppose. 2002.
You got me. You got me. What are you gonna do
Keep
about
going.
this?
I still can't believe Louis Gossett Jr. agreed to appear in this film. Everything about this movie feels artificial, forced, and contrived. The air sequences are flat. The enemy characters seem like puppets. This is just a poor excuse of a movie. At least Top Gun had air sequences that looked good. The external shots, anyway. The songs by Queen are cool, though, and rent Midway instead. I feel like that's a bit of an insult, because Midway I don't think is supposed to be very good from what I've seen of it. Here, guys. One has just said this is total garbage. The very idea is ludicrous. 1, kids don't own planes. 2, kids don't race planes with dirt bikes. 3, it made the Air Force look like total idiots. 4, the kid's father would not jeopardize. We get it,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna review.
It.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine. There was one that said this is a 10 out of 10. I'll try and pick from here because there's a bit of a longer one. But this is a 10 out of 10. Spoilers. But you can't spoil this movie. All right? Warning, spoilers. Here's the deal. There's this American pilot who's flying along, minding his own business. Suddenly he's outnumbered by evil. They proceed to shoot him down. Now this American pilot was doing nothing wrong, but those evil non-Americans didn't care. And before you know it, he's banged up in a foreign jail and sentenced to death.
Accurate.
Just skip along. Now you think that the plan that these people put together would be bound to fail, but you're wrong. Sure, those Middle Eastern types might all be veteran pilots, but Doug's got an ace up his sleeve. He listens to rock music when he flies. After shooting down a dozen or so enemy planes, blowing up an oil refinery, Doug lands at an airport, gets his now wounded dad on board. Skipping ahead. But the young lad listens, understandably, the evil, not quite so smug anymore, dictator gets quite annoyed by these antics and takes to the skies himself to shoot down Doug. But the young lad listens to some more rock music and blows the villain out of the sky. Hurrah! After Doug and Chappie have shot down 90% of the Air Force, Warner set up the last few planes in a rather poor attempt to shoot down Doug. I cannot recommend this film enough. It was the first ever video cassette movie that I bought, and until I was 20, I kept hoping that my dad would get shot down over foreign country.
First, he's got to join the Air Force
so that I could rescue him. But he doesn't like flying, so it didn't happen.
That's great.
Guys, boy, there was some banter in the Little Lebowski Urban Achievers. Yeah, there was some banter happening in here. Like I said earlier, Jarrett Layoff just wondering what the heck an Iron Eagle. What is an Iron Eagle, guys? Scuba Steve, love Iron Eagle. Can't wait. Gleamer got in here, and Gleamer 926 was responding to Jarrett, who's trying to explain this to him. He's like, "Oh, oiled up Jack men doing oiled up Jack things. Thought it was gonna be a fun thrill ride, but damn, it got really quick and fast. The story of the Von Erich brothers It's a sad story overall. Zach Efron and Jeremy Allen White were superb. Oh, shit, that's Iron Claw. Never mind. I'll watch Iron Eagle tonight and prepare. I love it. It's Top Gun if it were made by Tubi. It's like
a Tubi original. Oh my god.
That's Derek for real chiming in. It's Top Gun if it were made by Tubi. It's the Home Alone 3 of military films.
Wow. Yep.
Oh man. It's Tony Scott was like, "Hey, did you guys see Iron Eagle? What if we made that but good?" And he said, because Scuba Steve said, I was astonished to see it came out before Top Gun. Sorry, I read those out of order. Before Top Gun, thought for a long time that it was a Top Gun ripoff.
Yep. A lot of people did.
Yeah.
Dude, Mike G, not me thinking it's Roy Schneider's last movie about a cop hunting an escaped SS officer.
Yep.
It's not it either, guys. So we will figure this out for you. We'll find out what this movie is for you guys.
If you want to join, now that our old TikTok's down, a great way to support this is to get on our Patreon, patreon.com/confusedbreakfast, multi-tiers, $5 get you in the door, bonus weekly audio episodes, and then if you go up to the higher tiers, you get to be Little Lebowski Urban Achievers, and you get to have your words and name read on air.
There were some inside jokes in some of those reviews, like at the Home Alone 3 reference,
Yeah.
and that's because we watched that live with our Patreon members, and so you could do that as well.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cool. Well, dudes, our dads are captured in a mysterious Arab country. We have never flown an F-16 before. Shit, we can barely drive a car since we've only had our driver's license for more than a year. I'm sure we can figure out how to rescue them on our own, using our friends to show how vulnerable U.S. Air Force bases are, and while committing serious war crimes and now being deserving of jail time in multiple countries, including our own. The key to it all is the cassette player strapped to our knee with One Vision by Queen playing. Chappie! Here we go.
Permission to fly, lost pilot formation.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, slide on in there.
All right.
Scene 1. Colonel Ten Masters is flying his jet over international waters when he is shot down by an Arab country and is captured. Back on the military base and unaware of what happened to his father, Ted's son Doug Masters meets his friend and almost gets into a fight with some of the other kids in town who are harassing his girlfriend. He finds out that he was rejected by the Air Force Academy. There we go.
Yeah, just the way
Arab.
you put the rab.
Arab.
Arab.
I just need to make note of this because isn't it funny how like you can make as like a term derogatory just by putting like a bad inflection
southern
southern inflection on it? No offense to our southern friends.
But you can sound pretty.
It's like it's an Arab country over in the Middle East that we an Arab country.
Arab.
It's like it's the same thing as saying like, oh dude, yeah, I love Mexican food. Mexican people are some of the nicest people. Mexican people. Let me tell you about Mexicans.
It's very true.
Sounds derogatory.
It
It's like
does.
it's not. It's their nationality.
It's the way the guy's saying it.
And like Top Gun fashion, is it like the bad guys, the Arabs, are the de facto whatever country we're mad at the time.
Did you catch the name of the country? Like Top Gun doesn't actually say a country.
Nothing.
Black helmets, and it's very effective. But this one goes out of its way to make up a name for a country.
What
It's
is it?
Bilya.
Bilya.
Like pretty much all the letters of Libya just reversed around like Bilya. Yeah.
Well, that's makes sense. Nobody likes Bilya.
No.
Nobody likes to hear it when somebody says we're gonna bill you for it. All right, it's like no wonder people are pissed. I hate bills.
I was just gonna say, it's just like whoever we're mad at the time is just not giving us a discount on oil.
Yeah.
All right.
We got. There's going to be a lot of comparisons to Top Gun here. This intro is essentially Top Gun's intro.
Yeah.
But just so bad. Because like we talked about Top Gun, that intro might be the best part of that entire movie, Top Gun.
Yeah.
Like when you turn that on and they've got F-14s in slow motion on an aircraft carrier, and then
Kenny Loggins
comes in, you're like, let's go. This one. This is the opposite. This is like, oh great, this is 2 hours long, and this is what we're starting off with.
This is what I'm starting.
What you're saying is that it looked awesome, and like they did, we know, use this as a recruiting method for the Air Force, or the whatever, the Navy,
Air Force, yeah.
This is the opposite. It's like,
the opposite.
we're going to get shot down if we join.
Nah,
That's what's going to happen.
And even the
noted.
We went beyond the buoys.
All the, see,
How do we know
man.
that? How do we know we're not doing that?
the air buoys?
Yeah.
even I mean like
No wake zone.
we'll talk about the budget differences. This is what's wild to me. So Top Gun came out in like May of '86. This one was supposed to be a summer release, but
Yeah.
they went, like, no, we got to put it out ahead of time. So they released it before.
February.
Top Gun had a $5 million more budget, which does not seem like that much, but it is. Like when you look at these two movies, the fight scenes, the aerial stuff, it just looks so much worse than Top Gun did.
They a lot of the same techniques were employed with both films, like a lot of the rear projection in the airplane cockpit and the miniatures especially, which you can tell where the money went in Top Gun. It was a lot of the miniatures and a lot of the explosions and more of the and a good director. I mean, nothing against Sidney J. Fury. I like a lot of his movies, but Tony Scott's a very, very fine craftsman. I think Sidney J. Fury is like in love with the military.
Yeah.
As we go along with this movie and his film career, to be honest. But you know what I'm saying. Those explosions of the F-16s when they get hit is just like, if they put a firecracker in a little...
It's just stationary hanging out in the air. But that's what's so weird about this is like it's like they took better care in Top Gun to make us understand where the planes were and what was happening. And,
yes.
And this one, no. Like when you get in this opening scene, you got Tim Thomerson, Dad. I don't know what his name is. It's Colonel Masters. He's up there with a buddy flying. And like they're hitting these other MiGs and they're exploding. Then a missile hits his partner.
Yeah,
right.
They don't even show it, and then he's like, "Well, I got to go back to base. A missile hit me. I got to go back to base." And like, but every time Masters shoots, there's just kill shots and like,
yeah.
It's just weird. And then he doesn't actually get hit. He just has turbine failure.
You're like,
what are we doing here?
It wasn't
he didn't even
his
get shot
fault.
down.
Yeah. It's like you could have at least let him have that one, because now it like indirectly you're basically blaming the mechanics and your own people for the failure and for his capture at this point. Did you realize you were doing that? Because you kind of did. You did. So
it's really funny too, because my first note is where'd the missiles go?
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
They shoot them off and I'm like, we don't get shown any of the trajectory of that. But then it is like turbine failure. Eject, cut. Now we're gonna be an 80s movie. Like 80s music, and then we get like Gedrick's fucking room and shit. What's his damn name?
Gedrick's. His name's Doug Masters.
Doug Masters. We get Doug's room, and it's badass.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's like military 80s movie.
Yeah, I feel like I went from going and watching an extended director's cut MASH intro to off-brand Back to the Future.
Yeah.
It's like, here, check out these kind of posters and look at this room and stuff. And they go, now here's our guy. And he goes into his like little brother's room and stuff, and they have some fun banter.
Hell yeah.
But they respect each other, and he thinks it's funny he's talking to some older girl, and that is great.
That is great.
Good for him.
Hell yeah.
But he's just like, yeah, okay. Everything just seems, it's just like, okay.
Yep.
Like it's this movie up to through this point is just the epitome of okay.
All right.
Yeah. Do you believe us?
Huh?
Here we go.
I mean, like the parallels of Top Gun don't end, and I was watching this movie without having done research and knowing that this came out before Top Gun. Technically, that like even the same shot as Top Gun of him on the motorcycle and an airplane in the background. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like this is just ripping off Top Gun, but no, these were like pretty much made. This
Filmed
was made
at the same time,
pretty much
for the most
like
part.
the one of the stunt guys for the airplanes like died on Top Gun and also worked on this movie. Finding that like the spin,
was kinda,
the spin.
I didn't know that. Did we talk about that in Top Gun?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I found it out during this.
I got his name written. We'll talk about him later. Let's go through a list of these characters though, that are in this movie, because this is pretty like quintessential '80s like faces in this movie, whether you saw it or not. I mean, you've got Jerry Levine as the literal quintessential teenager of the '80s. I mean, Teen Wolf, Iron Eagle. He's just such a. I'm surprised he wasn't in Breakfast Club.
He's like the best friend in the 80s.
He is, man.
He-
Kind of sly, but like he's still your friend. He'll help out when he needs to.
He feels like a cool version of Styles in this movie.
Yeah.
He's actually like one of my favorite like people to watch in this movie.
Yeah.
You know. So
Here's a couple other ones. Michael Bowen was the bad guy, like the bad teenager, like the rival teenager. He was Buck in Kill Bill. He was in all this other
Jackie
stuff.
Brown.
Yeah. Matthew, the brother, Matthew was Melvin in Tremors. Remember Melvin that gets eaten in Tremors? the
That's
kid?
right.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Tremors. Melora Hardin played Katie. She was Jan Levinson in The Office.
Yep.
Tom Friedley, he was one of the goons. He played one of Freddy's friends in Karate Kid. Remember, he's like cool
Yes.
friend,
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
friend. Like he was that guy. The kid, he was also a prison guard in Face Off. Tom Friedley was. Rob Garrison was Bobby in Karate Kid. He was one of the goons here. Shawnee Smith, almost unrecognizable. Saw series. Who framed? Roger Harry Crumb. What's that John Candy movie we're gonna do?
Oh, who is Harry Crumb?
Who's Harry Crumb?
Yeah.
We have to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so there's actually quite a bit of people in this
I don't know
movie.
which one it is, but one of those guys, one of the motorcycle dudes, the bad
Yeah.
guys. He's in Friday 6. Jason Lives.
I think that's Tom Friedley.
Okay, yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
Like in Friday 6, I love his character in that. But yeah, it was really cool to see him. And this like once they get to this like A&W,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, it reminds me so much of like the feel that Billie Jean gave me.
Yeah.
Like that when they go to that malt shop and have the confrontation between the Top Gun guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like this, and I was having a good time at this point. I'm like, I like these people
Yeah.
already. Like this is really fun. And prop, please.
Okay, here you go. Right here. I'm gonna hit this button. Here it comes. Ooh, here's a prop.
Just a big old mug of root beer.
Yeah. When's the last time you had a good root beer, man?
Long time.
A long time.
You want to hit pause and go get some from the vending machine?
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
Actually, we do. No, we need like
We need massive
A&W
Oh,
dogs.
you're
mugs.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick AJ's prop for him,
Okay.
and then mine as well. I'm gonna order for the table, kind of a thing.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, you're welcome. So your prop is Chappie's Pennzoil hat.
Oh wow.
I think you'd look good in the when they have the first scene. He's got like
Respect,
a Pennzoil.
yeah.
I feel like that's what you would take.
Yeah.
So-
That was yeah.
Was that what you're gonna take?
I was just gonna say one of their jackets.
No, because that's
What you
mine.
want. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, we can't all get the steak. You know,
Well,
you get
well.
the chicken so I can have a bite.
We got to share. We're family style.
All right, you can have the. I'll do the hat. You can do the jacket.
Who's well? No.
There's multiple jackets.
Whose jacket?
The
we can-
Eagles Flying Club.
Yeah, but whose jacket?
I'm
They
kinda,
have them
Doug
tagged
of the group. You know,
Okay, so you're Doug.
I'm kind of Doug.
All right.
Let's just get
I want Tony.
Let's just get the variety pack props from Iron Eagle. We'll all get a jacket.
We all get a
I'll get the
jacket.
mug of root beer, and
Yeah.
then we'll get a
Hat
hat.
and- yeah.
While we're at it, can we do a porn title? We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
This one's pretty simple, if you ask me. It's Iron Kegel.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so tight.
Yeah, you
That's-
get in there, you can't get out.
No.
Yeah, man, that's like Terminator shit.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good luck getting out of that one,
Iron Kegel Judgment Day.
boy. Another sticky situation that they're gonna get into.
Oh yeah. I do have a question for you. Did you think that the dad, Colonel Masters, his name is Tim Thomerson. We've already established that. Were you looking at him being like, who is that? I recognize that guy. Were you doing that at all? Because I was the whole movie.
Only from the
It's the
Trancers.
chin.
Only from the Trancers series, the movie The Trancer.
He's been in a ton of stuff, and I looked through it. I'm like, no, that's not what I was thinking of. And then I finally figured it out. It's alternate universe Christopher Maloney is who that guy is.
Oh.
He looks exactly like him in the face, and I think
Jeez.
that's what I was thinking of the whole movie. Going, who is that? Like, I want to see him. Yeah, I want to see them like alternate universe. A few
Yeah.
things. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Nice.
There you go.
Remake Iron Eagle and put Christopher Maloney in as the dad.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm just gonna keep building on this. That's great. That's a great title for it. Alternate universe. Morgan Freeman and guy from that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, that's great. Christopher Maloney and Tim Thomerson.
Yeah.
Alternate universe. I'd like to see them meet. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. I just since we're talking about like random characters and stuff, I want to make mention of Larry. Why can't I think of his name? Larry Scott. Larry B. Scott.
Yeah.
Good call.
Larry B. Scott. Because, and I'll only ever call him Lamar.
Yep.
I just will.
I don't think we've talked about him yet because we haven't done that movie.
Okay.
But he was also in Karate Kid too.
Yes,
he
he
was one
was.
of the Cobra Kai fighters.
Yes.
Yeah, which I don't know if we mentioned that during Karate Kid, but yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He had some pretty nice like little scenes in
Yeah.
there. I think he's fun in this. He's a little over the top for me, but I think it's fun. It's a fun over the top.
It is
kind of a little bit like soap opera-y every now and again. It's just like hold on, Doug.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff, holding him back. I love it.
Even like the bit at the end, or they are like walking away from him, like, all right, like the exaggerated like happy run to him, you know.
Yep.
And
It's a bit much, but I like it.
God knows, you know, a dance scene's coming. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Oh yeah.
Well, see. Oh, do you got?
Wait, a little bit more. The rejection letter.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like if my brother gave that to me and I was at an A&W and I read it and I'm like, oh well, I guess it says I'm rejected. I don't think I would just like toss it.
No.
I'd, like maybe like give it to someone else and just be like, just proofread this,
Double
make
check
sure that,
Yeah.
or like keep it for your records.
We were just joking.
Yeah.
We have humor in the U.S. military.
I don't know. It seems like something I wouldn't throw away.
Yeah.
But
Especially
Yeah.
when your rival, like bro, is going to get it and read it on the microphone immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah.
He was standing over there going, whenever he folds that
There
paper
it
up
is.
and throws it, I'm going to get it. Get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it.
Nice. I'm gonna go dig through his trash. Like that's what bad guys do.
Yeah.
Guys, you got to know that. He should know that by now.
Well,
it.
scene 2. Doug flies his plane in a race against another kid on a motorcycle and wins. Afterwards, he finds out his father was shot down and looks for answers. Finding out his father is soon to be executed and the government doesn't have any plans, Doug requests the help of Colonel Charles Chappie Sinclair.
as soon as like he challenges him to this race, as soon as we got to the airfield and I confronted him again, I would just punch him in the face right there.
Yeah.
Right.
And say, like, oh, you want to fight right here? It's like, no, we'll take it on the the snake.
Yeah, we'll ride the snake.
The snake. Once we got there, I would just be like, pump.
Never mind.
And then I'd just go on and like, I go ride with my airplane.
Yeah, I'd take my
Yeah.
girlfriend up, be like, let's go on a cruise.
Yep, everything's good now.
Everything's great.
Looking fun. Hey, thanks, random guy, for just like opening up my plane and just doing whatever you want, whenever you want.
I'm sure you won't be like a mentor / wizard to me later in the
No.
film. No,
There's really no reason.
I think this will be the end of our relationship.
definitely.
Do you find that this is kind of dumb that they introduced Chappie here?
Yeah.
Because like, why is he? First of all, how does he know about the thing? How does he know this is about to happen? And then why would he go there and like look at the plane and fix it when he doesn't even know this kid? And then why did he not know, being a mechanic, that someone else has tampered with his plane and messed up the fuel or whatever?
He did it right after.
Okay.
You got to give it to the editing.
There's a guy in the back going,
Give it up to the editing. It's one of his buddies. And like, it's the worst kind of cutaway because it just, well, there's no setup to this little cutaway. There's like a conversation happening. Everything's done with Chappie. They're talking. And then all of a sudden, for like literally a second and a half, you see a hand reach back into the engine and just do this.
You do not.
You do.
No, you don't.
And then it's just done. And it's there's no like, yeah.
you're lying.
Yeah. No, that's
What?
it. And that's all. And if you look away for 2 seconds, then of course you did, because it's Iron Eagle.
It's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. And so you looked away.
I was like, oh, my sandwich.
Yeah.
It just fell down on my shirt.
My oven's exploding.
Yeah, it did. It was.
That's a problem I have is, 1.5 seconds, never mention it again until later on in the plane.
There's a lot of problems. If you've got that problem, you've got like introducing
Oh, I've
Chappie
got
here.
problems.
You've got in what world is this a race between a motorcycle and an airplane? I don't get it.
And like, I think it's Lamar who explains it to George.
Jim.
Yeah.
Who's our main character? Fuck's
Doug
sake.
Masters.
Doug Masters.
Darren
I'll get it.
Masters.
I'll get it. Don't say it. Don't do that to me. I will fuck it up later. Doug. He explains it to Doug. He's like, okay, this is how the race works. Who's done it before?
Yeah.
Doug has clearly done this race before.
Yeah.
And he's explaining it to him just for the audience sake. You know, I'm just like,
And
all
it
right.
still doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It's just, why?
Why?
Why this?
Why don't we both do motorcycles? Why don't we both do planes?
And my thing
Why don't
on-
we fight each other?
My thing on Chappie is that his excuse is I just like fixing planes. Like, do you just walk up and down the airfield looking
Yes.
for broken planes?
Yes.
Just look for, and by the way, they both make mention of like he calls it the Branson kid, and he calls it something else, and he's like, and immediately they both say, it's like, well, if you mix your is way off, and if you do that, then you're gonna torque out, and he's just like, I wonder if that's what happened to Chris,
To my good friend 6 weeks ago.
yeah, Chris Mitchell's that who died doing this same race. And it's like, I don't know, like 4 days ago. And he's like, yeah, that Branson kid. It's like, what are we talking about? Can we just get on the same page?
Well, they literally picture this. They skim over this. A teenage kid, like 6 weeks ago, crashed his plane flying the race that Doug is about to do. And they're like, well, let's do it again. And like people go, oh, Doug's going to be racing the motorcycle guy. And they go to the finish line and they're like, they show up to watch the race. It just makes no sense to me.
It's like it's the same thing, but how do we take it up a notch from just the standard? I'll meet you at Thunderball Road, kind of a thing.
Ooh, they tell him a kid died.
Yeah, the death thing. Oh man.
Halfway through the run, they'll see the wreckage. He'll fly right over it.
We need the audience to know that, like, if there's a dangerous situation, that Darren can get over it.
Yeah, right. He's not scared.
We need the audience to know that.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
By the way, this whole thing goes off, and he's like, "Oh man, he took a dirt road. That's gonna take like 10 minutes off of his time." It's like, apparently not. Like what?
Well, yeah, apparently not.
So. What? And then
still a photo finish.
Yeah, still a photo finish. And by the way, it's like, okay, well, let's put up objects or like a thing in front of a prop plane and pray to God it doesn't just go into the turbine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let's have some little kids stand underneath an airplane and a motorcycle going 150 miles an hour.
Definitely.
These things aren't. These obviously this plane isn't finicky at all. I mean, there's nothing that goes wrong with these planes.
We can see it. It's smoking. It might crash. Let's stay put.
They don't require.
We'll be all right. It's Doug. It's Doug Masters, baby.
He's good, man.
He's good,
dude,
man.
It's like, dude, and by the way, I'll go back. Larry B. Scott basically going through this, narrating, like John Maddening this whole time of him just being like, he's like, you got it, Doug. Yeah, man. What are those tunes? Those are blasting, man. You're just like, what?
Tell me that this though is not the shot of the movie when that motorcycle's going over the hills and that plane's coming in. Unbelievable.
I was watching him and like, oh my God. Like this is I thought to myself, I'm like, how are they doing this?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're just doing it in camera.
To me, honestly, like that dirt bike seems more dangerous than the plane at this point.
With the plane beside it.
God, that thing is hauling right now, dude. And I'm just
I got goosebumps watching because I remembered as a kid watching this part. This was probably my favorite part. This and the final scene was why I liked it as a kid. And man, I'm old enough to rock and roll. And he's just flying. And that guy, his name was Art Scholl, was the pilot. Yeah. He did all the stunt pilots. Like unbelievable pilot. Read his resume; it's incredible. He died later that year when his plane was doing the spin. Mm-hmm. They're like, let's do it for real. And yeah, it actually he did not recover. Landed in the ocean. They never recovered the plane or the body. Like just
such a
terrifying, man. But it's amazing. Like that's what's so beautiful about music and movies is like it's captured. We have this scene to just still watch what a master pilot this dude was. I mean, like it's incredible.
It's an incredible image seeing this. Yeah. It's like I won't forget this for a long time. Like that is a crazy shot.
It makes up for a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just put it that way.
Definitely.
Okay. It makes up for a lot of the movie. And I like because this whole race of it being so close to the ground. And by the way, he just has to not break 50 feet. He's at 15 feet most of the time. Like he's just above that dude's head half the time on the bike.
It's wild.
And you're just like, gosh, like that plane. And they're really doing it. That guy was
Who knows
really
how close
doing
they
man.
Were on that shot, but it looks sick.
I mean, call it perspective or whatever you want, but even him going through the hills and skimming through there, it's really, really great. And it's a great, intense thing. And honestly, I just wish it would have been more of that. And they really didn't need to keep having all this banter going on.
I know.
And just it's like, man, he's gonna die. I wonder what a Cessna looks like splattered all over those.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him die.
I can't believe it. You gotta pull up, man. You're gonna die. What do you got, a death wish? Come on, bro. It's just like, just stop, guys, please. Did you have to give him more lines? Was that the thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do like the juxtaposition of the fun 80s teen movie with the serious death-defying stunts, and also what's going to be happening later. Dude. International laws and whatever. But like with 80s fun.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It just drives me nuts because it is classic Grease Lightning. We're gonna like go Grease Lightning go drag race style. That's what it is, and they flip it on its head and they add in the fact that they're all Air Force brats, so they all know.
Yeah, whose planes are these, by the way?
They grew up with it. They own them, Mike.
Yeah, and
these
then he
children
literally
own
crashes
them.
it, and then like we don't like it's fine.
Well, yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
fine.
He's like, well.
I know he owns the plane, but like, who's paying for this fuel?
Yeah.
Like, are there other planes around? Are there other people doing this? Like, the air traffic control is going to be nuts, And then once he does like beat him, he crashes his own plane. He's like, well, yeah. And then just punches him anyway. Like, you could have saved us all this time, and money, and breaking your plane.
Yep.
And by the way, these bullies. This is normally in an '80s movie like this, you've got your first antagonist, which is the bullies, and you defeat them, or like we'll get back to you later, and then you move on to the main antagonist. But then they always come back around to like a final scene where it's like, I'm gonna go. Bully's gonna be like, you know what, you did pretty good over there in Billy.
You're pretty good pilot.
Yeah, and they just
Johnny
said,
Lawrence is going to hand him the trophy at the end and say, "You did it,"
And they never. This is the last we see of these guys. They're done.
It's apparently it really was just a final blow for him to just be like,
or even
punched in the face. He's like, yeah, I am a jerk. I should clean up my life. And then he just moves on with it.
Think about, too, they could have easily gotten like all their team together assembled to make this mission, but been like, oh, no, we're still missing the guy that knows how to get the maps.
Yeah.
And then he'll walk in and be like, hey, Doug, I came to help out with your dad. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
I know.
And like, bro.
I never grew up with my dad.
Yeah, my dad died, too.
Yeah.
What's
And then
Your
they
dad's
make
going to
out.
die. And then they make out.
And they start
It's
kissing.
80s. Fuck yeah, dude.
Notcher, you son of a bitch.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't they do that? That was that would have been very 80s of them to combine forces on this.
I know. Like you wanted it, but they, and you guys will probably end up correcting me on some of this stuff. Because like I say, man, I really tried to watch this movie, guys, a lot. But I had to buy it. It was only available to buy. I couldn't just rent it.
Can we talk bad about Philo real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so by the way, this movie is on Philo.
Okay.
And you can get like a free 7-day trial or whatever.
Great.
And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do that. And Philo not only plays ads during the movie, like every 10 minutes they play ads, but it is like $29.99 a month to be on the service.
Yeah.
To then also watch commercials during the movies.
They're just.
But we have Iron Eagle.
They're
It's
just like.
okay, I mean, you got me. I will forget to cancel it, and you got me. I now have Philo.
And the person who wants to watch Iron Eagle will deal with it.
How much did you pay to buy it? Like $7.99.
And now it will live on my Google account in infamy in perpetuity.
Yeah, they're gonna know.
I purchased the rights, the streaming rights. I can't do anything else with them. I don't own it. Okay, well, we won't go there, guys. But no, I just want to say they do this often in this movie, where it's just like, cool, that's done. Move on.
Yeah.
Never reference it again. And Sean talked about it, I think, and maybe it was Demolition Man, maybe it was a different movie, but they do that a lot here.
Yes.
And I'll try to keep bringing it up as I see it.
Well, he goes to the like military base or whatever to like find out about his dad. Well, he finds out about his dad, but he goes into like the base where where the guy is, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll just show you all this extremely sensitive stuff and tell you what should be highly top secret information, but we're just gonna feed you whatever you want, kind of stuff."
You can understand why the Air Force was like, no.
Oh yeah.
No. We're not doing that.
Like, who is that? He's fired. Okay?
Yeah. No, we're not going to do that.
And also, he talks in like such cryptic, like airplane military talk, where he's like, "We got an ace, and all they're showing us is a couple of twos behind their back." Right. So is my dad dead?
Dude.
Listen, I don't play cards, so I really don't know what that means.
Don't know what you're saying.
I spend all my time in the simulator. I don't play cards with friends.
Doug,
Doug?
I know why you're here. We got one heck of a knee slapper going on. Look, if all I can tell you is we got too many flapjacks and not enough syrup for this whole situation. You're just like, what are you talking
Them
about?
damn Arabs got your
He's
dad.
like,
That is a guy that can say Arab, and you're like, geez.
you're it's just like it stings a little bit because he said it in that uniform, and you're just like, ooh, it's like, I tell you
Listen,
what,
between you and me, those damn Arabs got him.
look, I'll tell you what. I ain't ever had biscuits this dry. These Arabs got our biscuits in a lock, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, how'd he do, Lasharoo? Any word on my dad? Well, the general's cooking a turducken, so I'd say Billy Bob, Toe, Duckin', Frookin', my dad. Like, what the fuck are you saying?
Don't worry, we're gonna get your pappy back and your dad too. It's like, what?
It's just my dad, though.
Who's pappy? Never mind about
Yeah,
that.
don't worry, that's code. I didn't remember this being PG-13 because I definitely watched it before I was 13 years old. But it's PG-13. There are a lot of curse words in this movie that I watched as a child. And I think many people listening watched. There are 22 shits, 8 asses, and 2 fucks in a PG-13. Does that seem outrageous or no?
Seems pretty
Is that pretty on
For the
standard?
time.
up there.
For the 80s, I mean, that's up there, but I think that, you know what? They're like, well, it's 13. Kids
But
are hearing
this
this all
would
the
have
time.
been, had the PG-13 movement not come through, this would have been PG.
It would have
for
been.
sure.
It would have
It's
had
not
to
an
have been.
R-rated
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Let's talk about Lou Gossett Jr. What are your thoughts about him in this movie as Chappie?
I think there's a certain scene that he's really, really good in.
On the tarmac?
Yeah, where he's like, anytime somebody dies for this country, I give a shit. That kind of.
When he gets really intimidating?
Yeah, I'm like, holy hell! Like,
Yes.
I think he's the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think he's the best part. He's the most entertaining part for me. He's the most grounding part for
Yes.
me as just somebody who's watching the movie. Like, okay, thank God it's I get to watch him and be grounded in the fact of like that I'm not watching this, you know, on like USA Network or
Yeah,
something. You know what I
correct.
mean? And it's not a made-for-TV movie because I see Lou Gossett Jr.
Correct.
Yeah.
He quite possibly has one of the best like sunglasses pull-offs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that like, oh my God, he's just like, what? He gets more intense. Like his glasses come off and he's like, what did you say to me? Like that kind of thing. And oh, bro,
Yeah.
Doug, settle down, man. This is Chappie. Stop talking
Yeah.
like that to him. He could beat your ass.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like I always, like, we never really talk about it, but I mean, Doug is kind of just a piece of shit.
He is.
I mean, let's humanize the good guy apparently, because apparently, I mean, he's really not that good. Of like his grades aren't very good. He
Yeah.
said they come out with that. He's like sneaking off and cutting class all the time, like. That opening drive scene where he's just like, and he's like Mr. Magoo just blowing through like the entryway.
Yep.
Oh dang it, Masters!
Trying
Not
to do my
again.
job.
Oh,
Doug Masters.
the old Colonel's son. Grr. You know, that kind of thing.
Nepo baby.
Yeah, and you're just like, no, darn it.
And dude, he's
What?
even in the simulator. He's not good in the simulator. He's
No.
like, I spent more time in the simulator than all these guys. It's like, well, you're not good.
Spend a little more time.
yeah, maybe a
spend
little bit more time because you're not good.
Apparently, it's not counting for anything. And by the way, you're stealing other people's time.
Yes.
So that guy's only letting you in the simulator because he doesn't want to get back to your dad that he was mean to you.
I think
Dad.
you said it earlier too, AJ. Like a lot of people look like assholes in this movie or something like that.
Yeah.
He looks like an asshole.
He looks like an asshole.
Like the way he looks, Doug, Darren. He looks like he would be a villain in any other team.
Yeah,
You know?
he could have easily been like Johnny Lawrence
Yes.
Yeah.
in Karate Kid, and you would have been like, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He is. If you watch, have you guys seen? I don't know if you guys have seen Toy Soldiers, but Sean Astin in that has a very similar look, and he's a
Okay.
good guy. And it's very similar. Like once we get to that movie, maybe when we rewatch it or whatnot, you'll see what I mean. But it's distinctive, and it is. It's like a bad guy look.
Yeah?
Like that kind of haircut, the rolled up sleeves, jeans, the white shoes, that kind of stuff, and you feel like he could be that. I don't know. It's interesting, man.
Yeah, I mean, a little more on Chappie. I think, like, 1984 was Karate Kid, and this is pretty much Karate Kid.
It's the era of like, let's put a teen
Yeah.
and a kid in a position where like we can be like, yeah, teen power, you know,
and get the older mentor to,
Yes.
like Chappie is Mr. Miyagi in this movie.
he is.
And I think I was watching this and I'm like, well, this is probably based off of the success of
Yeah.
Karate Kid, which like a lot of these kinds of movies were. But this one does it really well. And speaking of Louis Gossett Jr., it's I think he is not like phoning any of this in, which where he could. It's like kind of a lower budget teen. I guess this movie is pretty much kind of for teens.
Yeah.
He could have phoned a lot of this in, and he's really, really believable in this. And I think he does a really good job.
It makes me want more of him. You know what I mean? Like, it really does.
Well, you got 3 more movies after this to watch if you want.
Well, I don't mean in this. I'm just
in
saying
this movie.
I just mean Louis Gossett Jr. in general. Okay. But no, what was I going to say? Dang it. He's very believable and he's very grounding, like I said earlier. And it makes me, like I say, I don't know. I'll just say that it makes me want more of him and to watch him in some other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of explore his catalog.
Yeah.
Well, scene 3, Chappie's initially skeptical but agrees, and they assemble a team to devise a meticulously planned mission. On the day of Colonel Master's scheduled execution, Doug and Chappie fly their jets to the Mediterranean Sea, cross into Billion airspace. The Billion military responds, and in an ensuing battle, Doug and Chappie take out 3 MiG-23 fighters and destroy an airfield. Chappie's hit and crashes. A lot going on here, guys.
When they're talking about like going, or like when he devises this plan, Doug does. He says something to the effect of, "How tough can it be? They're a shitty little country." Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
And earlier, it's Lamar who says, like Iran, right?
Yes.
Nah, man, they had Mr. Peanut back then. Now we got a badass. Why do you think they call him Ronnie Reagan?
It's like, I've
Reagan.
never actually heard anyone say Ronnie Reagan, but I kind of like that.
It's kind of dope.
They're
Can we put that on a shirt?
They were trying, sure, yeah. Well, Reagan might be a thing, yeah. But
It's just some crazy, like, very American stuff in
that's
here.
what that's what I'm gonna say. And it seems like they're really trying to pepper it in. It's like, see, the kids like
Yeah.
Reagan. Yeah, huh? Kids like him.
See?
They called him Ronnie Reagan. Here's his action figure.
Cool.
It's like, all right.
That's Rambo.
They have
Yeah, I know.
They have that awesome flashback where they show that his dad was like letting him fly, and like it's so funny to me because they get out of the plane and Doug keeps his helmet on. You know they've had this conversation like, Doug,
Yeah.
you got to keep your helmet on. Nobody can know this is you. And he even goes to the trouble to be like, do you know how much trouble I could get in if people knew that you were doing this? And then he proceeds to literally the other master guy leaves. And then he takes his helmet off, and they just stand on the runway for like 30 minutes.
There's a lot of people around.
There's a lot of people that are like, oh, hey, Doug, wait a minute.
It's just, I mean,
Doug.
he can't be unknown here.
Correct.
They literally talk
Everyone
about,
hates him.
Yeah, everyone hates him and loves his dad.
Yes.
I mean, everyone's just like, I was like, a lot of people like him around here. Everybody knows him. They know Doug. There's Doug. He's a little rough around the edges. I think he's gonna come around one day. Everybody knows you, dude.
Yes.
And for you to just stand out there and for him to just basically like, it's just kind of hot. Put it back on, asshole.
Can you imagine if a news story came out where like some colonel for the Air Force found out, like, we found out that he was letting his like 15-year-old son fly jets, $80 million jets.
Yep.
We would be outraged.
Hey. He was listening to Queen.
Oh, you're right. Not yet. I
it
don't
makes
think.
it
Was he
all
doing
okay.
Queen or was
No,
Queen later
just
on?
in that story.
I'm old enough to rock and roll.
I'm old enough to fly a $10 million plane.
Yeah, F-16s, really nice planes.
Yeah.
They're a really nice play.
I did get a little future insight into my daughters fucking up my job. Like the 2 daughters show up to the lieutenant and just like she just goes, blah! Shawnee Smith just throws coffee on him. I'm like, this is my future life.
This is your future.
Imagine we're doing this 10 years from now and they walk in, they're like, Dad, and all of a sudden they just like throw popcorn everywhere just to get us to leave so they can
To the
do some.
tune of "We're not gonna take it."
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Great montage.
It was really good. we have to say it because we glorify it on this show a lot, but the clubhouse
Yeah.
is fucking dope.
Yeah.
Top tier clubhouse.
I still like the Foot Clan hideout a little bit better because they got skateboard ramps.
I'm
but-
gonna nominate it for Confusey.
Oh,
For Hangout?
One of the best clubhouses
of 2025.
of 2025.
And
I
Sean's
love
gonna
that.
write it down.
I love that. It's pretty cool. It's got like the whole canopy is like a parachute. Did you
It
guys
is.
notice
Yeah, it's
that?
pretty cool.
It's pretty dope. And like they've got some pretty dope stuff in there. They got like a foosball table in there or something. Like, I mean, they got it going on.
They were like stealing road signs from the base, and like
Yeah.
nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
They're kids. They're just
Yeah.
having fun,
They're just having a good
having
time.
a good time.
It's okay.
It is pretty funny to me though that like, because I do think Doug Masters is instilled it into me that listening to music while you do stuff makes things better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure this is where I got it from, because from here on out, when we're playing, when we're driving, when we're doing whatever, playing soccer, like playing in the basement, it was always music. Like
Yeah.
you had to have music playing. But it is kind of weird though that he gets Chappie's finally on board, and Chappie's like, all right, cool, and he turns on that jukebox. He's like, how can you think with that music on? It's like, bro, you're hating on James Brown right now?
Yeah.
And we're just listening to your garbage music?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be a lover of all music, but no.
This.
Kind of racist. I'm just going to throw it out there.
What the heck?
What's this music?
Don't you have some like Kenny Loggins or like some? It's but the music in this too. I have to imagine like when he's talking about the like listening to the music and he puts it on and Chappie is just all. I mean, Chappie's the same way with him. He's like, God, turn this crap off.
Yes.
Maybe it's a generational
Okay,
thing,
all right.
not a race thing. We'll leave it at that. Right?
Okay, you're right.
But that being said, it's like I have to imagine that there was a song that was made. It's just like, you're the best around. You can do what you got. Hey, there's already a movie that came out with saying you're the best. Oh, crap. Well, I'm
Flying so high in the sky because I'm young. And
loving this time of my life because I'm young and I want to rock and roll. So let's rock and roll. Huh? I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep flying.
You can do it. Go and save your dad.
well, that's a little too specific.
Okay.
You got to let people,
Spoilers. Get in that jet and shoot off a rocket.
Let's put a boot up their ass.
Yeah.
Hey,
Proud to be an American.
Yeah. You can't have an 80s movie without a montage like this. And I'll tell you what, just this is where Chappie shines a little bit, like him shaking his ass and they're going from place to place. By the way, for a guy that's like a really important guy that people love and know is captured and probably going to die in a couple of days, nobody's really altering their lifestyle much. They're still going out to eat, having fun, not really talking about it. Out of sight, out of mind, really.
They're going to hang him in 3 days.
Yeah.
They're not really acting like
international news.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can talk about, can we talk about like maybe the most insane advice from mom who's just like, in the video, it's like, your dad is just thinking about us and probably wants us to just go on eating healthy, good food and going to the dance, the prom, and just go have fun. Just go
get out
have
there and have
fun.
fun.
Don't think about your dad getting executed. Just go have fun. Put on that boutonniere. And like get splashed by a fake boutonniere from the mart. That'll be funny enough for you to break out of your shell and your stupor of just depression from your dad being like freaking shot down.
Don't worry about it.
It's all good. This happens all the time. Meanwhile, back at HQ, you still got the guy in there who's just like, we got 2 snakes in the rattle pit.
Is anyone listening?
And I'll tell you what, it's after we ain't got enough sausage for this one.
We got 1 rebel rouser and 1 rebel drowser.
Rebel
all right?
Drouser.
We got to get them on board.
It turns out he's like Wet Hot American Summer. He's just on the radio broadcasting, but nothing's plugged in. This is what he does. He just lets off steam by just making up fun stuff, pretend like he's talking to people.
That's all he does. He just makes outlandish comments while everyone around him does work.
Yes. Something about maniacs messing with good men always pisses me off. Yeah. And that's the reason Chappie gives for going along with
for committing career suicide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and murder.
And murder.
We'll talk about it.
Oh.
Can I want to make a redo of this now, because at first I was going to say like every time they do end up cutting over to like the where the colonel's being held. I do think somebody made mention of it in one of those, but I kept thinking of Team America. And I was just like, boy, they couldn't be any more on the nose of just being like, let's make these look like bad guys that we think exist over there.
Yep.
And
just living their life. Dude was in international. He like crossed over the buoys.
Yeah.
And they had their right to shoot him down, and now they have him as a prisoner. He won't do what they're asking him. Like, I feel bad for these guys, man.
and you're just kind of like, this whole thing could have, that whole side, every time they cut across, they could have just done that side of things as a puppet show. And the only one who's a human is the dad. And then I started to think they should redo this whole thing as puppets, except the only people that are is Doug's family, Chappie, and the dad.
Yeah. They're real people. The rest are puppets.
Everyone else is puppets.
It's kind of weird that when they every time they went to the Arab country that they didn't have like sitar music playing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know. Like that. I'm very surprised they did not do that.
It was like Black Hawk Down, kind of. It was like, you know, that
Like,
kind
come
of
on,
shit.
give me that. It's the 80s. I want it.
It just seems like that's how outlandish this kind of starts to get.
It really does.
Especially as like the plan unfolds. It does. It could have. I bet the Air Force would have picked this movie up for support and everything if there were more puppets involved.
Yes,
let's just put it that way. If all the people who worked at the Air Force were puppets, and they're like, and that kid with the glasses, again dressed like an asshole for no reason,
Total asshole,
and he just goes in and he's like, "Hey, Marge, oh, you having problems? Yeah, I'll just stay here for you. Oh, thanks, little kid. I'll run down there. I'll be gone an hour." And that was a puppet. Fantastic.
Yep.
I'm all in by that point.
Yep. But no puppets.
No
AJ's
puppets.
out.
I'm like, this is terrible. This is not real.
How about some of the dialogue? And did you catch just some of the weird dialogue throughout this whole movie? I got a few. Come on, Dad. Don't come on me. It's a little touchy, yeah? Well, if you're lucky. Well, you're lucky I'm not in that cockpit with you. I'd show you touchy.
Oh,
Iron Kegel.
God doesn't give people things he doesn't want them to use, and he gave you the touch. It's a power you have inside of you, down there where you keep your guts, boy. It's all you need to blast your way in and get back what they took from you. It's
Red blood American, all right?
It's
Yeah.
called.
we ain't gay.
It's called balls. Let me see them.
I'm certain Sidney J. Fury, the director, is gay for F-16s.
Oh,
I am too.
I'm certain.
I like F-14s better. I mean, most people would agree the wings can be swept and put out. Like F-14s are better, but F-16s pretty cool.
Yeah, give
Pretty
or take,
dope.
you like to take. Yeah.
I like to take. Yeah, I like to touch.
I like to touch.
Let's go on to scene 4. Doug plays the tape Chappie made to help him continue the mission. Making the enemy believe he's leading a squadron, Doug threatens an enemy state into releasing his father for pickup. Before Doug lands his F-16, Colonel Masters is shot by a sniper, causing Doug to destroy the airbase while he lands and picks up his wounded father.
So before they like head out on this, it's like Darren and Chappie are like
Dutch.
going Dutch and Chappie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
They're going through their plan the night before, and he's like sitting on the couch. He's like, "I need you to get some sleep." He's like, "I may not be ready, but I'm damn proud to fly with you." And that's what Chappie says to Darren, Dutch. Sorry. And he's like, "I'm really gonna need you to be ready, though." Like this.
Wait, what did you just say? You're not. You said you may not be ready.
May not be ready, but I'm proud to fly with you.
No, we're gonna need you to be ready.
Listen, kids. Like sentiment, like I appreciate that. Like I am pretty fucking awesome, but we're gonna be either die or we're gonna. It's kill or be killed.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can put it.
Look, we're either gonna die or just go to jail for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
I need you to be sure. Are you good? Are you good?
You good? You sure about that?
Sure about that?
I don't know if I'm good, but I'm proud.
And then he the moment when he walks in and he's just like, I thought you were gonna go to bed. He's like, I'm just hanging out watching TV.
I'm on TikTok. It looked like he's just. If this was a modern movie, the kid would be on his phone,
I'm watching Looney Tunes.
What?
Eating cereal. What?
I'm just trying to wind down.
Yeah.
God. Ugh.
MTV. All right.
I don't need sleep for this. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll sleep in the 15-hour flight in the most uncomfortable cockpit of all time.
Okay, so this too. Once they are up in the air, they're like, we need to refuel. Did we know about the refuel? Were we ever told about this and like the plan?
Was the refuel in the room with us at the time that this happened? What happened?
I don't know. And then once they're up, does the refuel plane know that you're getting refueled? Is the refuel plane just
what's the
up
refuel?
there?
No. So they you're talking about how they're on this like secret mission, and like how does the plane know to refuel?
Yeah,
they are a part. Like there's a flight plan. They booked this flight plan. They're flying to Spain. 2 F-16s are going to Spain. Everyone knows about it.
Okay.
They are flying that mission. They think it's 2 random pilots that they don't know about. And so the refuel is there because, they're on this mission and they're going to Spain. But then that's when they deviate from the flight plan after they get refueled. Remember that? Like they go, okay, hey, we're gonna bank right here, and then they're gonna know we're off our flight plan, and they're gonna wonder what's going on. And that's when we got to go radio silent. So
did they ever give us a reason why they were going to Spain?
No, it was just like something that they were that the military said.
Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars in fuel and
15 hours in a cockpit. Yeah. No, go take those things to Spain.
You're just, drop them off and we'll see you there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. The order. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry for you, sir.
Sorry about that.
Inconvenience for you, sir. Wrong, Mr. Pickford altogether. Just like, inconvenience for you.
Unpack your bags. We're not going anywhere.
Frank. Dude, that's all I can think of is just because they show up and they're like, computer thing. We got you, 2 of you going to Spain, fully loaded for war and jet fuel for days.
Make sure you don't go over that international line because a couple days ago we had a guy. He's dead. They're gonna kill him.
I'll tell you what. Yeah,
he's gonna suffer.
He's suffering right now.
You're the kid. You're Doug Masters.
They're gonna, dude. Can you imagine if they walk up and like they're going through this, right?
They blow the whole mission because he gets pissed and takes his helmet off and says, "What'd you say about my dad?" And the whole mission's fucking done.
He blows it somehow, but he's like, yeah, we got you going to Spain. Hey man, just watch out for those buoys up there, okay? Don't cross over the lines, because I'll tell you what, I'll let you on a little secret. I shouldn't be telling you this. We had a guy, he crossed way too far over, and he's probably dead already as far as I know, but he pretty should have been doing it anyway. It was pretty stupid of him to do that.
All of us ground crew, we pretend like we liked him. We don't.
Yeah. Doug's like, you know what's funny? Actually, 5 people already told me that, so it's not really that top secret.
Just blows the whole thing.
It's so great too that he goes down. Chappie goes down and crashes, and then he just flies up to 35,000 feet, and essentially the billion army's like, where'd he go? Like they don't follow him. They just let him have a timeout. Be like, his partner died. We'll let him have a timeout there, and maybe
he's got a tape to listen to.
He's got a tape to listen to. It's so great that he records this tape, and there's just nothing he can't accomplish now because he's got this tape.
100%.
Yeah, it's just so great.
Yeah, and before this, he first becomes an accessory to murder, then subsequently just becomes a murderer.
Yep.
Right after this.
Yep.
It's all good though because America.
Because we got
awesome.
it.
Hey, man,
They got
awesome.
my dad.
America, all right?
They got my dad. He was doing illegal shit.
We can't let Arabs run this stuff. What are we doing?
Nameless people.
Clip that. Holy shit.
Gee, clip that. Dude, the idea that Chappie recorded this tape for him, you know what I mean, is also just kind of a strange, I feel like it could have been, it would have been great, it just being a rambling kind of a mess of him, and then all of a sudden.
He was drinking.
He's back on the bottle, and then James Brown's playing too loud at one point. You can't really make out what he's saying. and he's just
the mic cuts out.
He's like, I'll be honest with you, me and your mom had a thing at one time, and
you might be my kid.
I thought you were gonna be mine until you came out white, and then it was
a 50-50 shot.
It was fine, and we were happy, but but your dad's a good guy, didn't you? It was before you. It was a thing before your dad.
Your dad was fine with it,
and we're good buds now.
Your dad boned my girl. That's just what we do.
It was there's a lot of James Brown and playing, and then one thing led to another, and that's we didn't know if we were coming back, and then you're knocking the door, and it's he's like, and it's a hooker. And a hooker just comes in, and then he forgets to stop the tape, and then because he's like, it could be my last night I'm ever going to be alive. And he says, I'm going to be alive. And he continues on this whole path. And Doug has to listen to the whole thing.
I like that a lot.
Running out of fuel.
Running out of fuel. When do we get to the part where you're supposed to tell me what song to play on my tape recorder so I can do this?
Yeah.
And it never comes. It just runs out of tape. And he's low on fuel.
Don't even get to hear him come.
No.
Like, not even the good part.
No, that would be the good part.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, Doug, your dad and I used to be cucks. And like, whenever we were up in the air, that was our code names. Cuck 1, Cuck 2.
Yeah.
We just loved seeing each other ball our girls.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He just like bugs out and just goes home. He's like, fuck this.
That's why we called... when we would fly together, it was called the cuck pits.
Yeah.
And they,
Or cockpit. A vagina. That's a cockpit.
it is a cockpit.
It's a cockpit. It's a hole for cocks.
Is that why they call it
That's why
that?
they call it that.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
We're getting fired.
And then all of a sudden,
done.
then he finds out, well, there's a side B to this tape. No.
Mitch is like, give me my candle back. Fuck you guys. I tell you, any movie that has "Give Me Some Lovin'" in for a montage scene, especially blowing up airplanes, I'm all in. So great. And then the fact that they spent time early on, like they spent 60 seconds of this video making sure that Chappie could instruct Doug Masters to lower his voice when he talks on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
And then he does this. He calls in to the enemy and is like, listen, you guys gotta let my dad go. I mean, let Colonel go. Like, he doesn't do his low voice at all.
Yeah.
It's just like, why did we even have that? Who cares?
Yeah.
They're going to be like, they're on there. They're like, is there some kid?
It sounds
that a
exactly
kid?
like a teenager.
It's an American kid here. What is he on vacation here? What's going on? You get a CB radio? What's he calling it for? This is ridiculous.
Yep.
Like all of the stuff between Chappie and between Doug, and like even when they're coming in, all the equipment, he's just like 029er. It looks like you got deviated off course. Can you let us know? Click. And it's just like he just changes the radio frequency, and it's just like hopefully we don't hopefully they don't come after us. They're like, they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
You have Doug who's going to talk to. Is he going to call back and be like, we're just what do I say, Chappie? Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
There's nothing, man. I'm just.
Well, it's funny too because he's like, he takes out the oil refinery and like
After his dad gets shot, that was like his retaliation, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You
it
just
was-
lost an oil refinery.
It'd be funny if it was just like, well, that's our shit plant.
It sure looked
it
like it, by
looks
the
like
way.
a shit plant,
It
but
looks
also-
exactly like a shit plant.
But also, it's just like, well, you just destroyed our number one hub for our purchasing oil.
Yep.
So
yeah, who do you think
you
they're selling
fucked
that oil to?
everything up.
It's like, I'm gonna let you know, we have relations with these guys.
We do big business.
we have a huge system with them.
Billia?
Yeah.
Billion?
Billia.
Billia.
And we have a $1 billion industry with billion. Okay, with the people of billion.
The best part is
That's how they came up with the word billion.
Yeah.
Okay.
He destroys this runway as part of this thing so that the other planes can't take it off. He's destroyed a couple MiGs. No planes can take off. I love how the main bad guy leader's like, get that runway repaired.
Yeah.
And like it takes 15 minutes to repair a runway. What in the world are we doing to repair a runway from missiles blowing concrete up?
You'd be surprised what these asphalt guys can do, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
It's
I'm just
just
saying
wild.
stuff.
They're like, oh, yeah, it'll be, give us 10, 15 minutes. We'll have that runway totally repaired.
Yeah.
That'll be fine. I think it's okay, Mike. Hey, after I just got done, Mike, don't overthink it, okay?
Thinking way too much
You
about
know.
this.
What I am thinking about is the fact that he does land
Yeah.
after being, I mean, you got the 15-hour flight. You've got another 3 to 4 hours that they've been in the air fighting and listening to tapes in the air. Doug Masters has been in a very uncomfortable cockpit seat for almost 20 hours. The fact that he can get out and run without having like, oh, fuck, my legs. Like, God, we've all sat. We get up after this podcast after 2 hours. I'm like, shit, my legs. That's the most unbelievable thing of this movie to me is that he can go running over to his dad.
Did they shit and piss in there?
What? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah.
Happens?
Is it like is maybe like the seat, the cockpit, the seat is basically like
it
just a
goes
big bowl?
whoop.
It's like a porta potty.
It opens it, and they just dump it.
It just goes.
And you get that air kind of like dries your ass off a little bit
Right.
when the bottom opens up.
It's like an air bidet.
Yes.
So they have like the pajama flap on the back of their suits,
yes.
like the two buttons.
Yes, of course.
I saw that when he was running. Actually, when he's running, one of the buttons was like fell off, and
it's just a shitty ass.
Yep, he's just got.
Yeah, what do you expect?
He's
Dad?
just got poop ass, and he's
Poop
got.
ass.
What do they call the bomb?
The Hades bomb.
That's the Hades bomb.
Yes.
Is all
it's
the built up rock of shit that he just needs to take,
We call them Boeing bombs.
Yeah.
Well, let's do the final scene. So Doug and his father encounter another group of MiGs, and Doug defeats them. Low on fuel and ammunition, a squadron of U.S. Air Force F-16s appears to escort Doug and his father to Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, West Germany. Chappie's alive, and he and Doug appear before an Air Force Judiciary Committee. He's cleared of wrongdoing, and they all return to the U.S. to see their families.
I gotta say that some of the cockpit scenes, when they're just like doing dialogue, or like Dutch is listening to the tapes that Chappie sent, the rear projection changes abruptly sometimes. So like you'll be seeing like clear blue sky, and then all of a sudden you'll see like mountains, just like hard cuts. Like
is that why they're so close on his face?
Oh,
because they are so close on Doug Master's face.
Yeah,
and it's so weird because he's kind of like his head just looks incapacitated. Kind of.
Yeah, they all do. They're always like,
don't move.
But like they could have given him some direction so he didn't look like he had been sitting in front of fucking GTA 5 for like 17 hours. And by the way, he also never his voice is never elevated at all
ever
either, because he's just like, thanks Chappie, appreciate it, man. Hey, what are we gonna do when we get back? You guys having fun? Like that's it. He never gets any more like
he's
animated.
Cool and calm, dude.
He's cool, calm as a cucumber.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doug Masters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, this is like shocking though, because like I was like the build up to all this, and like when he starts killing people,
yeah, he goes.
I mean, this is war, and it's not good. Like he gets down on the ground and tries. I'm like, how's he gonna get the fuck out? I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work, dude.
Imagine watching this as like a 9-year-old, bro. You're just like, oh. And you don't think about it as a 9-year-old. You're like, man, that Hades bomb, it's incredible. You can't even drive a car through it. It just makes your car blow up and fly through the air. And then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, at some point that fire ends. It's not like a mile wide, right? So can we just
go around?
Can we just go around it? I'm thinking that would maybe be the easiest way to get around it.
As soon as your little Humvee hits fire, it just goes bam.
Yeah.
That's part of the Hades bomb. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I also felt really bad. I felt so bad because a lot of times we'll see a stunt guy like is on fire in a movie, and they at least like how much time and effort and danger went into that scene that they'll give him some good screen time to show the guy on fire. If you go back and look at this, after he drops the bomb, there's a millisecond of a guy on fire, and it's out of focus, and the guy's like off to the side, and they like I feel terrible that they went through all this work. The guy goes to the opening, he's like, "Cool, I'm gonna show my family."
Yes. He brings his
This
girlfriend.
this is one of my biggest stunts to date. Actually, I'm really excited. He has an interview before the screening.
Fuck! It was out of focus, and I was right there.
Here it is.
It's a millisecond shot of a guy.
Oh,
fuck!
Oh my! They didn't even get it,
honey. How do you know that was you?
Oh,
I don't.
It's pretty awesome and sad for that guy. I feel terrible
for them to go through. Nobody comes out of those things unscathed ever. You never hear about it. Oh, and he was perfectly fine during the fire stunt. It's like he got scathed.
He suffered.
He suffered a little bit.
He suffered a lot.
And all he got was a half second out of focus side shot.
It's just a terrible. And you know that they wanted to cut it, but like, at least got it like. Let's just put it in there for a quick second. We paid him just a quick second, please. We put a guy on fire.
Yeah.
It's a good stunt.
It's a good stunt.
It's a good stunt.
I like how he blows up the air tower that the main bad guy was in. And like I was like, oh, he got him.
Nope.
But then like cut, and he's just fine. Like no marks, no dirt, no nothing on him. He's still just like, bring him down.
We're assuming he jumped out of that control tower.
He had to.
That's the only way you're getting out.
That's all.
He's fine.
He didn't take the stairs.
No.
You didn't have time.
No.
It's pretty anticlimactic though, because like when he does finally save him, they get in the air, they take off. It's like, uh-oh, here's going to be the big battle with the evil villain fighter man. It's like, we got him.
Does a
You like it, and you don't really. I mean this in the nicest possible way. You don't really know that's him.
Oh,
the
no.
way that the helmet looks, you're like, is that him or is that another guy? We haven't really established that. That's fine.
Yeah, we don't need to.
No, we really don't.
At this point, who cares?
Don't worry, we're running low on fuel. We have no more missiles, and now there's more planes coming at us.
Yeah. Oh,
What are we gonna? Oh, it's our buddies.
it's our guys.
It's that guy from earlier.
They're here to arrest us.
Yeah, they're here to
Yeah.
escort us to Ramstein to put us in prison and jail forever.
War
Yeah.
crimes. Got
Yeah,
it. War crimes.
Oh yeah. So let me get this right. We're gonna go in. Chappie's alive. Cool. Great. Okay. I love Chappie, but also, so Chappie helped a teenager steal planes to go overseas. One of them crashed, which means I don't know. That's a $20 million plane back in the 80s. We lost $20 million. We lost a plane. We're gonna have to clean that up. We're gonna have to pay that country off. We did $10 million of fuel for 2 planes. This plane's pretty much a goner. Like the one Doug was flying. We're gonna have to retire that one too. Another $20 million. We destroyed an oil refinery that we actually get our oil from. That's probably worth $100 million in the long run. Now we're at war with Bilia.
Yep.
You know what, you guys? As long as you don't tell anybody, you can go.
Don't tell anybody about this. You're fine. You're fine. In fact, we're gonna pay you.
In fact, hold on. Wait a minute. It was just you two guys, right? Nobody else involved? Oh, there was 8 other kids that knew about this? You think they're telling? You think they told anybody? We're probably good, right?
Let alone the human factor of the lives you took back in Bilia. All those families are just ruined.
We're fine.
You're good.
You're good. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, kids.
You guys did it, huh?
It's essentially the same thing as like they just went through and like pulled like a Pearl Harbor on these guys. That's what they did. Guys.
They will be having annual memorial things about that day.
This is Bilia's 9/11.
This is it.
And we're like, we saved one guy.
All right.
All right. He's always retiring next week.
Next time, Chappie, you're driving. Woo!
Whoa. So like
That was
we're
crazy.
gonna be okay, right?
Like-
are they gonna come after us?
They have like serious memorials here. It's like, this is where the hallowed ground of the 98 men and women of the armed forces of Bilia lost their lives. And
Countless exporting that we used to do, now we import.
Yeah.
It's changed our economy.
the economy has completely been just obliterated. No pun intended.
Thank God they
that-
turned this whole place into a theme park now, though. America came in and really fixed
Don't worry
this
about it.
place
They
up.
fixed it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard. Yeah, we're gonna send our Neil Team 7 into America to assassinate Chappie. We got him. We got Chappie.
Yeah.
We got
Neil
him.
Team 7 is just Neil Diamond. It just goes over there and performs for the troops, you know.
It's capital 80s where like it don't matter. And now there's a news reporter giving us all the info we need to know when they're getting off the plane. Everybody's great. We're happy.
And in a strange turn of events, Colonel Master's son himself flew a rogue mission into Bilia, started war, and then came on home with his wounded father, who eventually died later on from the wounds sustained. It's like, no,
Correct.
all for nothing. Okay, great.
Good news though, he got into the Air Force.
Oh,
Academy.
good.
He gets
doing
off the plane,
great.
he's like,
I flew this one, too.
It's just got a long shot of him in a plane. Like,
it really is. Oh, well, you got anything else you want to say about Iron Eagle here,
That's
boys?
about it.
well, we ended the same way as it started. It's just a long, extended director's cut MASH intro.
Sure is,
outro.
man.
It's great.
Well, we have dissected Iron Eagle with a modern eye. Time to give it a modern day rating. AJ, this is the first time you've seen this movie. What were your thoughts about it?
This is a movie, as I've explained before. I wanted to like this movie so much. Like I did. Like I was like I was convincing myself about liking this movie. And like there's a point where like I can't, because like it's not that I dislike the movie, but there is a point where I have such a hard buy-in to what's going on. I love Lou Gossett Jr. I love, like, I think a lot of the actors are great, actually. I enjoy a lot of it. I have no idea what happens. Where's his girlfriend go? His girlfriend's just like there and then gone. Yep. And it's like, oh, I got to go talk to her again. It's like we never see. There's no like.
They break up within
She
months.
moves to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Scranton.
Oh!
I'll
right.
let you take this.
Yeah, no, come on, office boy.
Oh.
I have an office podcast. Sorry, keep going. Actually, no, don't flesh that out.
I'm
Just
not
keep
going to flesh that out. It's like, it's fine. All right. Her parents move and then she goes to school. No, but like that's what I'm talking about. Like there's a lot of things that like loose ends that never get tied up. There's a lot of things that never get resolved, really. Like they just come back and you're just like, wow, I don't know how they're actually going to deal with any of this other than laugh it off in true 80s, capital A 80s.
Yep.
And so I don't know. I want to really enjoy it, guys, but I have to be realistic and just be like, I don't, this is 2 hours.
Yeah.
It is long, and it is a long buy-in for 2 hours. If this was an hour and a half, I'd probably be more apt to be like, oh man, yeah, it's fine. I'm having a good time, whatever. But to ask me to be invested that long or that much for 2 hours is a tall ask. So I am going to give this it's a 4.95 for me.
4.95 for AJ. Sean, what about you?
Yeah, I got some rearranging to do on my rankings, it looks like. I think that this is fun. I like the, like I said, I like the juxtaposition of the teen 80s movie. Crazy, getting into shenanigans movie with the like serious ass military shit.
I'm sorry. Did I say 4.95?
You did.
3.95. I'm so sorry. It's a
my
3.95.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I apologize.
I think it's fine. I think Louis Gossett Jr. is the best part about this. I think he shines in this, and kind of like once he is gone and it's just his voice, I'm just like, no.
Gotta see his face.
Yeah, this is no good. I think like the direction and everything is competent enough, but you're right, AJ. It is way too long. Like this needed to be. I wanted the tone to be. I wanted this to choose whether to be an 80s teen movie or a like fuck yeah America jacking off to F-16 movie.
Yeah.
I wanted it to go either way eventually, and it never did. But I am actually a 5.9.
Nice, Sean.
5.95.
Glad to finally have some movies that you guys have not seen instead of me. This was great. Like it flooded back some nostalgia, which we always talk about, but sometimes it's hard to get rid of the nostalgia in movies we've done. Like TMNT 2 is like, man, this is hard to really strip away the nostalgia of this. This was pretty easy because like it's not good. Like and you know what? I love Top Gun so much better. But I didn't give Top Gun a very good score on a modern day rating because it's like not that great. Like it's okay. Top Gun Maverick was way better than Top Gun was, but still like it too long. But it was still pretty fun, and I'm glad we finally got to rewatch this one. I'm going to be a 5.4 on this one, and we got to go to Josh Miller. He says, to quote Kevin from Home Alone, "Woof." Watching with a critical eye was tough. This movie is neither good nor holds up well. I'm not going to hate it. This was 1986 after all. You think you could give it some grace, but Top Gun was released just months after this, and Top Gun only had a slightly larger budget and is far superior movie. Its larger budget was well spent. The plot of this movie was wildly unbelievable. The acting wasn't good, and while a semi-popular actor, Louis Gossett Jr., seemed like a well-liked actor, but I can only remember a few movies he was in. There's no way these kids can get away with all of their shenanigans. Least secure base ever. I'll give credit where credit is due. A lot of the flying shots, while lacking a huge amount of continuity, look great. I'd like to know how much of the jet flying was actually shot for this movie versus stock footage. The flying race scene early in the movie with the Cessna 150 was shot well, and the flying was top-notch. This was my favorite part of the movie. I agree with you, Josh. The pilot used was a top-level pilot and pushed that 150 well past what it was designed to do. Unfortunately, that pilot lost his life later in life in his Pitts S2 while filming the flat spin scene from Top Gun. I've ridden in an S2 a couple of times, and it was so much fun. After my rewatch of this a few years back, I watched Iron Eagle 2. Don't ever watch that one. Because if you didn't like this one, the sequel is like wildly, without any doubt, like none at all, so much worse. Did you guys talk about that flight simulator Doug you used? Was this the best 1986 had to offer? I have to believe there were better ones. Comparing it to Microsoft's Flight Simulator 2024 is wild. In the end, while it's not a good movie, I don't hate it. I certainly don't love it. I don't see myself watching this again anytime soon, and this viewing may very well be the last time I ever see it. So modern day score isn't great. I've seen worse movies, and I've provided my review for worse movies on this pod. I'll give it a 4.97.
Wow.
So friends, that's going to take us to a 5.06 on the grand scheme of things. If you look at our modern day ratings, a 5.06 is not that great. That's going to be just out of the bottom 10. We do think that Over the Top is a better movie than this, but we think that The Cutting Edge, Harry and the Hendersons, and Biodome are not as good as this. Is how we feel about that.
All right.
Okay.
It feels all right. I'm happy. I'm fine
Poor
with that.
Harry, man.
I know, poor Harry.
I do have Rad at 5, and that's not good.
Yeah.
I need to bring that up.
Told you guys we have to have a new another episode of
Coming up.
re-rankings. Yeah.
Coming up. We're doing it.
2025.
Well, hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for being here. Tune in next week. We got 3 amigos followed by Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider won by 1 vote in our Patreon vote.
Are you serious?
If you don't like it, it beat out Hunt for Red October by 1 vote. And if you don't like it, it's the only way. You got to join. Patreon.com/confusedbreakfast.
Yeah, if you don't like it, it's your fault.
It's literally your fault for not joining the group.
Yep.
If you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year. Cliffhanger.
Oh, man.
All-time episode.
Banger.
It's a really fun one for you to listen to.
Yes.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks to Brian on the controls, Upload Media Group in Cedar Rapids. Learn more at uploadmediagroup.com and check out our network, Cloud10, cloud10.fm. Love you
stuff
all.
there.
Goodbye. Chippy!
Thanks again for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Make sure you're checking us out on YouTube here in the studio, hanging out with us live and in person in the studs. Check us out on social media. Search for Confused Breakfast at Confused Breakfast anywhere on social media. And please leave us a review. 5 stars on any platform that you're listening on. Write us a comment on Spotify or an Apple Podcast. Write us a review. We love to read them.
Go to confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the merch that we have. You can see the shirts. We have new shirts up there. It's awesome. I believe it. You can go to confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the ratings of the movies that we have covered. You can see AJ's ratings. You can see Mike's ratings. And you can see my ratings and the show's ratings overall. Goodbye. I love you.
Thanks to Brian on the controls here at Upload Media Group. Learn more at uploadmediagroup.com and learn more about our network Cloud10 at cloud10.fm. We love you so much. Go on to the next video.